let me take a step back and give you sort of a little context on that, and then let the rest of the fellows add to that. First is, what kinds of organizations are we interested in? And clearly, we're a startup, so we're interested in every organization in the universe. But within that, we think that our sweet spot is mid-market. We think that there are big companies that are dealing with the Anthropics and all of those guys. They're providing all kinds of support to the big enterprises, and we can't compete with them. But if you think about mid-market and fast-growing small to mid-market companies that are profitable, that are being run by either their owner or a significant shareholder, they're profitable, but they lack significant tech resources, we think that we can provide incredible value for those guys. When you talk about volume, it's a really interesting question. So let me take just one step back, if I can, Connor, and say there was a really good piece of work done by a consulting firm called TI People that, by the way, you should have on your show. They've done a fabulous job of taking a look at AI and HR. They're a Hamburg-based German consultancy. And what they found was that about 60% of the work of that HR organization across 15 different companies, about 60% of that work is low-value, routine, automatable work. Let's not have people doing that. We're just burning the people out. We're not getting much value. We're charging a lot more. We're paying a lot more to get that work done than we would if we were having some software doing a lot of that. There's a second category of work, and the category of work is what they call strategic or strategic support. In other words, if you think about talent management as a key issue, understanding who you've got within your organization and where they're at and what they're ready to do next, that's strategic support. And so within those kinds of opportunities, you're not replacing the human, you're augmenting the human by providing them access to those kinds of data that allows them to make different and better decisions, different and better recommendations. We believe that there's an extraordinary opportunity within a wide range of mid-market and smaller companies. And I'll give you one example. One example is that there are 12,000 florists in the United States making an average of $700,000 in gross revenues. How many of those florists could use AI to connect better with their customers, to describe promotions before the flowers age, to talk about special events and develop a list of their clients prior to a wedding, prior to an anniversary, sending them the stuff? I mean, that's just the beginning. So do we think there's a volume play? Yes, at two levels. One is, we think there are 12,000 florists alone in the United States that would benefit from our work. And second, we think that they would benefit in two ways. Not only to get greater cost efficiency, but also the outreach to clients and earning the business of future larger customer groups is a second area where we think that they can make incredible progress. They lack the resources, they lack the arms and legs, they lack the tech, but increasingly we think that a process that educates them, helps them to vision, as Pedro said, what's possible, works with them closely to develop the AI agent and implement and make sure it's working well. It's not a gazillion dollars as an investment. It can be done very efficiently in terms of investment. Wow. I mean, I think this is the next step in transformation is AI.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that vision.
You were worried about it.
I can't help it.
Say one thing, and that is, I know. And I know there's lots of people worried about AI. And I think that there are people worried about the initial employee, and is there an opportunity for people at the beginning, the bottom of the ladder, Are we going to move people out because their information isn't quick enough? I think all of that stuff is going to happen. I think there will be some losses. But Connor, I also believe that it's kind of like the internet. It's kind of like the Industrial Revolution, where at the end of the day, net new creation is much greater than the net loss. So I'm very excited. I think we've got a responsibility to make sure that we're teaching people how to use this stuff, making them conversant, making them competent. But gee whiz, I am not afraid of this any more than a musician should be afraid of records and radio.
Yeah.